Okay, so building a neutral. Ultimately what we want is we want to imagine the horse in a box. I'm not too strict about the way they stand, because I don't mind if they stand a little bit silly with a leg in all four corners, or whether they want to stand like an Egypt like this one. My main focus is this, is I want them to stand roughly in a box, and I want them to look at me, decompress their backs. Eventually I want them to blow every time I point down. So I want them to lower their heads, decompress their backs and blow. And so what I'm going to start doing is by touching his nose and pointing down. Now I'm going to use food, so I'm going to mark the correct behavior and feed him. Notice that I'm going to keep a very good distance from him. Every time he gets distracted and looks elsewhere, so I'm going to use my stick to put up a wall, and I'm going to reward him when he looks at me. So it's really not just about him finding neutral, it's about him keeping engagement with me, not looking elsewhere for comfort or for security, or if he comes forward, is I'm going to draw that line and say, I don't want you to come forward, I just want you to find your own relaxation there. I don't want let. Every time he looks away, I put that wall up. Every time he looks at me, I point down. Every time he looks away, I put that wall up. I like to whistle or something when I do it. I just like to give them a vocal cue so that they learn a vocal cue that will help them later on when they can't perhaps see me when I'm right in front of them. Every time he goes to move away, every time he looks elsewhere. It's really important to have the intention of what you want in your head. And so this is a very low pressure exercise, but it's also a very low energy exercise. So I need to keep my energy very low. I want to move very steadily. I don't want to reward the wrong thing. I want him to find his own relaxation, not offer me things, and not look around. I don't mind using the lead rope and the head collar with a little bit of pole pressure there just to help him find the answer that I want. But ultimately, if I keep going at this, what I end up with is a horse with their head on the ground and they're looking at me. They're not trying to offer me things. It's really important to let them know you're going to get rewarded for doing nothing as well as for doing something. There we go. And now we're starting to get some blowing from him, which again, I'm going to click and reward on. And it's a bit of a patience game. He's quite fresh this morning. He's been on the back burner because of how busy I've been. So if I get offered anything other than engagement and relaxation, is I'm going to apply some sort of gentle pressure to let him know that's not what I want. I just want you to find relaxation. So that's the first way that I start working on neutral. The second way is this, is I want to be able to come next to them just in front of the shoulder, and I'm going to stroke the back. This is ultimately to encourage blood flow, but what I want is his head to come down and for him to decompress that back, release any tension from his body, and yet stay engaged with me. And this is a really important one if you're going to do a lot of groundwork, or for when I'm teaching PF or parking, is that to let him know that the stick, the pressure is there to help you relax as much as it is to add tension. I'm just pointing down here. I'm not trying to pull his head down. And that's the second way that I do neutral.